What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Riptastic. And we are approaching fall fairly quickly as temperatures are dropping. And what I wanted to do was break down what we do to get these animals ready and help prepare them for the colder temperatures. There's various things that have to be done. We have aeration, we have filters that need to be installed. We also have some soil that needs to be loosened up, as well as hideaways, because a lot of these animals will seek shelter. They will burrow, and they will burrow under something, especially the box turtles and all the tortoises. So what I did, and now I'm standing in the Dalmatian Hermann's tortoise pen, and right here, I recently decided to get some sheet metal and screw it down on top of 2x8. So I was able to provide some support for these tortoises to go underneath here. And the soil is also loose. So that allows them to seek shelter from the extreme, well, the snow, really. It's gonna keep them dry. We don't want them to get too wet, as too wet can definitely kill them over time, especially in the winter, because they're not coming out and getting in the sun to bask. Now, I'm in the Dalmatian Hermann's tortoise pen. There's a few over here. I'm gonna walk over and show you them. These ones are just a few that are out and about. There's more that are under here. And in fact, there's one that's actually burrowed right there. And you can see these guys have some pretty strong nails, which are good for digging. So they will be able to dig down and completely go down maybe 4 or 5 inches from the top. And we'll also stuff some leaves under there as an insulator. This one over here, you can see it's got dirt on top of it as it just emerged out of the ground. It went down in there last night, and it's just trying to come out and get some sun. Another one is burrowing down right now. But these guys are not going to sit here through the winter. This isn't their spot. The spot is going to be under there. They know better because they've actually brumated in here previous years. Now, there was some old fencing that was going across right here, and it started to rot away a little bit. So I decided to just say, hey, let me put some tin down. And not only that, but it gets hot. So when the sun hits it, it warms up a little bit, and underneath will stay a tad bit warmer. But more importantly, guys, it keeps them dry. I did that in this pen. I got 2 of them. And over here, the North American wood turtle enclosure, I did that as well. Now, I had some big logs. I'll take you around over. This one's actually a lot bigger. But I had some logs over here, and what happened was they started to get worn out. They were breaking apart. The turtles were beating them up a little bit. And because of that, I said, well, instead of hauling this big log out here, we got some pieces of it right here. This is what they did. They ultimately took this gigantic log and broke it down. So in order to prevent that from happening again, it's always good to have fresh, new, big logs for them to burrow under. Anything that is somewhat concave and hollowed out would be ideal, but that's not always easily you're not able to find them that easily. So unless you know a tree guy. But here we go. We got 2 pieces here. Now I have 6x6s. I don't want to lift it up, because if I lift it up and stand it up, it might damage the metal. But there are turtles that are already, I'll lift it up a little bit. You can come over here, maybe get under there. You can see some of the turtles are already utilizing this for their burrow. This is a Gulf Coast box turtle. And then there is also some North American wood turtles. So I do have North American wood turtles, which a lot of them are known for brumating in the water. But I have a lot that liked to go underneath this log last winter. So I think that's gonna be what some of them are gonna do again. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting and stuffing leaves under here as well to make it more of an insulator. But I think this is gonna be a great area for them to escape the snow, stay dry, and extreme temps. But that is what is going on here in the North American wood turtle enclosure. We have just drained this. That's another thing. We have to do pond drainings probably once a week for almost every pond, maybe once every 10 days or 2 weeks, depending on the time of year. Once we get into the winter, though, we go down to 1 per month. So here we have, I got a skimmer over there, and I got a big cage right here where one of the pumps sits in. So that's gonna keep the leaves from getting all wrapped around the pump and clogging it up in the winter, because that is definitely a problem some people have, where they have to constantly go out and free the leaves away out of the skimmers and away from the pumps so they can continue to run. Some people turn them off for the winter. I don't do that because I obviously have a lot of turtles in here, and most people with ponds would probably go that route. I try and just keep everything oxygenated. I do have some fish in here, but not really a big concern for those. There's some minnows. These turtles are going to be just fine. I added some aeration. There's aerator over there. There's more over into each of these ponds. As we go around, there's going to be a lot more aerator set up and filtration pumps in general. The more oxygen flow, guys, you give these turtles, the more splash, the more healthy their water environment is, and also it's going to prevent them from freezing over. So we want to try and keep our ice to a minimum. Obviously we can't control it. We have ice that's going to form, but we want to try and make sure we have holes in the ice so the gases can escape. In the wild, they don't have a pond liner. Okay, the gases escape through the ground. So in man-made ponds like these, we have a liner that's kind of trapping everything. So once you have the ice and the liner, the gases build up and it can actually be deadly to your animals. Fish, turtles, I'm sure a lot of people that have ponds already know this, but I just wanted to tell you how important it is to have the oxygen flow. And if you can do it with the aerator or you can do it with the pump, either one works. We just got to make sure that we keep the holes in the ice and keep it safe for these animals. So when we get into the winter, it's not going to be a problem. We have cold temperatures that make it very difficult for these animals to move. They move very slow, almost in slow motion. And sometimes when the ice forms, which we're going to bring you back out for another video in the winter when that happens, maybe we'll be able to see them through the ice at the bottom, just chilling there and moving really slow. But that's also something that I've seen in the wild, and it's also very cool. We have a lot of ponds to do, but I just wanted to give you guys some options on things that you can do for your turtles and tortoises if you keep them outside. Box turtles and tortoises, this is a good method unless you can get some really cool hollowed out logs or greenhouses. But there's a variety of different ways you can go when it comes to keeping your turtles happy and healthy throughout the winter. So that's just a few things that I do, and we're going to continue to bring you more footage as we move closer into winter to show you updates on what's going on. We're also working on a lot of other enclosures, but I hope I helped some of you guys and gave you some knowledge on how to prepare your animals, your tortoises, your turtles for the winter. And if not, and you have a question, you know where to go, comments. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.